Now we have a fireside chat on upcoming cybersecurity regulation and its impact on the automotive industry. I would like to invite Shruti Mishra, Senior Correspondent, etauto.com, to moderate the discussion. Over to you.
Hello everyone, this is Shruti Mishra and I welcome you all to ET Auto Connected Vehicles Summit 2021. After an insightful discussion on connected vehicle side and vehicle connectivity, it's time to talk about safety and security. In the past, what happened in your car typically stayed in your car, but that is no longer the case now. The influx of autonomous and connected vehicles has made vehicle architecture more complex. A focus on cybersecurity is increasingly critical to ensure the necessary measures that should be put in place to prevent attacks throughout the life cycle of a vehicle. To discuss how the upcoming cybersecurity regulations will transform the connected car ecosystem, joining us today is Mr. Khushwant Pawar, Head of Cybersecurity Solutions and Mobility at ETAS Automotive India. Hello, Mr. Pawar. A very warm welcome to the show.
Hello, Shruti.
So let me start off with this first question. So while we all see that we're still witnessing that in-car cybersecurity threat will remain an ongoing concern. Now, how companies or countries are shifting gears to make cybersecurity a core consideration?
Well, connectivity, as you mentioned, it's driving too many functionalities. It's not only just connected features for end users, but also other impactful functionalities like autonomous driving, a lot of ETAS levels, and shared. Also, a lot of electric vehicle drive is relying on the connected vehicles platform. But all of this connectivity is actually pushing limits of the known security concepts in past for vehicles. There was nearly nothing. So what the countries have done overall is there is a set of regulations which are coming up, and there are some set of standards which are coming up. First part I would want to mention is the UN ECE UN R155 regulation. So there is about 58 contracting parties. Most of the Europe and Japan, Korea, and some of the other countries have passed on, have adopted this UN regulation, and it has laid down the foundation to create a cybersecurity governance structure. Then other principle is securing vehicles by design, and further not restricting it to the start of production, but also moving forward throughout the useful life of the vehicle. So security is not just start of production, but also after that, the OEMs are responsible. So overall, the countries that are trying to push this regulation in their individual parliaments would ensure that there is a structure for implementing cybersecurity or the minimum required cybersecurity. And then the state-of-the-art security players will anyways take a lead. Some of the leading OEMs are doing far more than the regulation itself.
Now, talking about your company, ETAS, so it has a wholly owned subsidiary called Script that offers high secure IT solutions for embedded systems. Now, I just wanted to understand that what Script is doing on the vehicle connectivity side, and what kind of solutions Script is providing right now to its customer.
So Script, from connectivity perspective, I would step one step forward. We deal with the security part of the connected ecosystem. So it starts from onboard and offboard components. There is a lot of onboard security software that comes out of our consulting experience and product development experience in cybersecurity, predominantly for automotive. So about 15 years now, Script has been in automotive cybersecurity. All of this experience has helped us create really state-of-the-art products to implement or enable defense in depth, which is multi-layer security for automotive, and also some of the off-board components like key management solutions, which will enable or which will help manage security credentials lifecycle, or there is intrusion detection system backend, which like a vehicle security operations center. So these kind of solutions that create a complete cybersecurity ecosystem for the connected vehicles.
Now, we are seeing, there's so much buzz going around on the regulatory side, as you also mentioned. And in many advanced countries, regulatory changes in the vehicle side, cybersecurity is happening on a great scale. Now, in India as well, regulators are preparing a minimum standard for vehicle software and cybersecurity that will affect the entire value chain. I just want to understand now that what is happening in the area of automotive cybersecurity in India and as well as globally, and where India stands right now.
It's a good question, because India is at a unique position. There is a lot of Indian OEMs. So all the major OEMs who are trying to work or live up to the expectation of the market through connected features. And obviously they have acknowledged the need of cybersecurity. So there is no more need to really establish why cybersecurity is important. But how much can be done by Indian OEMs on their own, along with some partners? This is one part of the puzzle. Second part is India also has a lot of global OEMs and tier 1s technical centers. So because of these global OEM tech centers and tier 1 tech centers, there is a big community of engineering and innovation which is sitting right here in India, which is working on the concepts that are to be implemented for their parent organizations or their headquarters or rest of the developed world maybe. It implies that in India, some of the cybersecurity, automotive cybersecurity is going to be pushed from the global OEMs perspective as far as the competency development is concerned or security concepts are concerned. Second part is the regulatory aspect. So India, yes, from the government perspective, we are as of now pretty slow to lay down a strong regulatory aspect as of now. But the UNGTR, which India is also part of UNGTR, will come into effect maybe in a couple of years. And that implies that Indian OEMs will have about 2 to 3 years from there. So we are looking at about 2024 or 2025 for a very strong regulatory mandatory requirements to be met for cybersecurity. To sell vehicles in India implies that the Indian OEMs need to start preparing for a full-fledged cybersecurity management system and the other disciplines of the UNGTR, which is by and large a subset of the UNR 155 itself. So most of the concepts will be needed to be implemented, and throughout the life cycle, security needs to be managed. So both these things will become important. OEMs need to prepare for that, and they have not too much time really to prepare for that. So maybe what we are talking now is 2022, 2023 would be the foundation years for Indian OEMs to really come up with a solid plan how to meet regulatory requirements in 2025.
Now, Mr. Pawar, as you mentioned that upcoming regulations require auto OEMs to step up the cybersecurity. Now, I just want to understand how the automotive OEMs and tier 1s have to prepare for the compliance, and how will this change the conventional value chain that we have right now? How much change in the supply chain scenario, in procuring the raw materials? What kind of change can we see in the entire value chain in the upcoming years with this new regulations?
Yeah, so I think there are two parts to this question that you asked, Shruti. One is how should the OEMs prepare? And second part is the impact part. When the OEMs are preparing, what happens to the value chain, right? So how to prepare? The first or most important part is to acknowledge that yes, India will be impacted very soon. As of now, I see lack of enthusiasm as far as the regulatory aspect is concerned in Indian OEMs. Obviously, they have gone through the BS6 push from the government, so they would want to take some time out to really fight out the regulations, right? But at some point in time, it is going to come. So first acknowledge that there is a regulation in the making and it will happen. Second is try to identify where do you stand. Try to do some sort of fit gap analysis in terms of is there a IT security management system like cybersecurity management system for automotive practically possible in next 2-3 years? What are the missing components, right? Do you have a vehicle security defense center that needs to be established? Do you have a mechanism to really track and monitor vehicles in field? Do you have a process, a secure engineering process implemented which can guide the entire new product development process, right from security analysis to delivering a completely secure vehicle from security assessment, security sign-off perspective? Then of the field, like in the field, what are the issues that may come up? Are you preparing to really address those field issues from security perspective? So this kind of a fit gap analysis needs to be done. One, at the E&D architecture level, that means security by design, multi-layer protection, is it there? Second is from the organizational governance perspective. Is there a structure? Is there a PCERT? Is there a vehicle defense center? Is there enough organizational strength to ensure that this entire system can repeatedly deliver what is needed for cyber secure vehicles? This is the kind of preparation that needs to be done, and it is not one entity's job. There are multiple roles that will come up that needs to be played. This will directly have an impact on the ecosystem, value chain rather. In the value chain, typically OEMs have been relying on the tier ones, right, to get most of the technology delivered to them, and then integrate all of this technology, package it in a certain way, and then introduce it to the market. What change security will bring in is there will be even more entities that will come up. As it is in the connectivity drive, we see it is not only tier ones, it's the cloud providers, Amazons, Googles, who are Microsoft, they have come up in terms of connectivity partners. Similarly, OEMs will have to find out security partners, right? Vehicle cyber defense, for example, it's not a regular job for OEMs. They can have a partnership or an alliance with some of the experts to really come up with a vehicle security operations center. Similarly, there might be partnerships that might be needed for key management lifecycle or key cybersecurity lifecycle management. Similarly, there might be arrangements that can be done for other topics like the cybersecurity management system, governance structure, auditing this system over and over in future years. And these are not commodity services. These are definitely far ahead as of now in terms of state of the art and the preparedness that is needed to really deliver these kind of systems. By the time these services are really commoditized, we are looking at least 5 years to 10 years timeline, so that everybody will be having a reasonable amount of idea of what really needs to be done to meet the regulations. But as of now, it will be more or less a lot of partners play with the OEMs.
And lastly, Mr. Pawar, you mentioned in the start that Script is very entirely focused on the cybersecurity side. So how can Script help in overall security of modern mobility services, and what's the future looks like for this Script when we look at the Indian or the global automotive system?
I will answer the first part of the question. So Script has evolved over the last 15 years from offering consultancy and security concepts sort of services to bring up a product portfolio to enable cybersecurity. So we have cryptography products which can directly go onto the ECUs in onboard systems. Plus, we have taken one step further, which is coming up with some of the onboard components that can be used not only for cryptographic functionality, but also to detect any vulnerabilities and attacks on the vehicle. There's an intrusion detection solution from Script. But then we did not stop there. What we have done is we have gone one step forward, or maybe multiple steps forward, to give the back end of the ecosystem also, like key management solution or a vehicle security operations center in a managed services format. OEMs need not buy this entire solution at one point, but they can use it as a managed service, the way typically they would go with other cloud providers, right? So we are trying to model our business model with the upcoming models from the connectivity world. Plus, we are offering all of the services which are not commodity services. So this is one part that I can always say. And how the future looks for Script, we definitely aim to be, a full-time partner for end-to-end cybersecurity from automotive, from onboard to off-board components. We would want to be partners to OEMs and Tier 1s. And we see a lot of OEMs are taking that direction. There are discussions of offering multi-level onboard security solutions, as well as the off-board, which is the managed services part. So doing threat intelligence or vulnerability management services for automotive, plus offering a vehicle cybersecurity defense center, which will have a multi-tier support in the backend, which will ensure that vehicle security incidents are monitored and there is a treatment given in time, like security software updates, for example, right? So all of these services we are preparing, and there are OEMs and Tier 1s who are definitely very interested in Script offerings. So I see that the future is bright, and in the connectivity ecosystem, Script would want to be the leader in offering end-to-end cybersecurity ecosystem for OEMs and Tier 1s.
Right. Now, with this, we have come to the end of this interesting discussion. Thank you, Mr. Pawar, and pleasure talking to you.
Great. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, ET Auto, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Pawar and Shruti, for sharing all the knowledge with us. Now we'll proceed to the next session for more insightful content. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.